All right, in this lesson we're going to multiply mixed numbers. We've done addition and subtraction, but now we're going to multiply. A couple of things are different. We do not need an LCD because we never have to have a common denominator to multiply. And we do have to have all of our whole numbers and our mixed numbers turned into improper fractions. So we need improper fractions. If I start out with 15 times 1 and 1/35, this needs to become 15 over 1 times, how do I change it? I multiply 35 times 1 and I add 1. 35 times 1 is 35 plus 1 is 36 over 35. Now, because I have tops and bottoms, it's multiplication, I can do what I've called my bow tie. I have a common factor of 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 5 goes into 35 7 times. Multiply the tops. I have 3 times 36. That's 18, carry the 1, that's 108. And I have 1 times 7, which is 7. All right, I am not allowed to leave the answer in improper form. I started with mixed numbers and whole numbers, and I must end the same way. So I have to divide 7 into 108. 7 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 10 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract, bring down the 8. 7 goes into 38 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. Subtract, get a 3. This is the whole number 15 and 3 sevenths. So before I can think about canceling, reducing, I change the numbers first into improper form. I do my multiplication steps, then I switch back to mixed number form. So out of mixed into improper, do the work, back to mixed. All right, let's look at our next one. I'm going to give us a little bit more room. All right, if I'm going to multiply these, I have a mess. There we go. I have 6 2/5 times 1/5. I have to make them improper to start with. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32 over 5 times 1 over 5. Remember that in order to reduce, I look on the diagonals and I look up and down, and there's nothing I can divide out. Multiply 32 times 1 for 32, multiply 5 times 5 for 25. I have the improper answer, but in this lesson I have to change it to a mixed number. 25 goes into 32 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Subtract for 7. I get 1 and 7 25ths. Remember, in these problems, you start with mixed numbers, you must end with mixed numbers. Let's look at number 3. I have 3 1/3 times 4 1/6. Let's make them both improper. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, stays over 3, times 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 6. All right, I look on my diagonals and I look up and down, and I see that 2 is a common factor on this diagonal. 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times. The top, I have 25 times 5, which you could go off to the side and do, but it is 125. 3 times 3 is 9. I have my improper answer, but I have to have a mixed number answer. So I'll divide 9 into 125. 9 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 12 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract. For 35, goes in there 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract. For 8, my answer is 13 and 8/9. So I've got my mixed number answer. All right, let's look at number 4. I have 3 1/2 times 2 1/7. Change them to improper. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1, 7/2, times 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15/7. Check and see if I can reduce anything. Cancel, sometimes, whoops, called bow tie. All right, yes, 7 goes in there once, 7 goes in there once. I am left with 1 times 15 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2. Can't leave it improper. 2 goes into 15 7 times. That's 14. Subtract from 1. It is the whole number 7 and the fraction 1/2. It is 7 1/2. Start with mixed numbers, go to improper, do your canceling, multiply, change it back. All right, we have one more to look at. I have 4 1/4 times 5 4/7. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17/4, times 7 times 5 is 35, and 4 more is 39/7. Well, as I'm looking at this, I don't see a common factor. I don't see a common factor. No and no. I think there's nothing I can cancel. So I can do the bottom for 28, but the top I'm going to need to come off to the side and say 39 times 17. 7 times 9 is 63, carry the 6. 7 times 3 is 21, it's 27. Holder 0. 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 3 is 3, add, get 3. 16, carry the 1, 663. I have 663/28. Now that is my improper answer, so I'm going to now have to divide 28 into 663. 28 does not go into 6, but it goes into 66, and I'm going to guess that it goes in 2 times. 2 times 28. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I did that multiplication right there. I subtract for 10 and bring down the 3. I might go in 4 times, but I think only 3 times. Let's see, what's 28 times 3? That's 24, carry the 2, 6, 8, 84. When I subtract, I'm going to get 19, which is my remainder. All right, that was some kind of long involved multiplication and then division just because the numbers were big. So I'm going to have a whole number 23 with the fraction 19/28. So these really only get kind of challenging when the numbers are quite large and I have to do a lot of multiplication and then division to go back. So it is your turn to practice.